So finally I decided to try my hand at dungeons, and being a total noob, I had no idea how they worked in World of Warcraft. I logged into the built-in LFG and queued up. I was soon dropped into Razorfen Downs. Wildhead tells me that Razorfen Downs is in the capital of Quillbor, an area that has been taken over by the Scourge, meaning that most of the mobs in the area are undead. The Quillbor are locked into a desperate fight to reclaim their city before a Meninar cements his control over the Barons. Your primary mission is to defeat these lieutenants so that you can confront Blackthorn. The first section pits you against a spider nest where Aurochs awaits his imminent death by your 5-man party. This is a straightforward fight, but Aurochs does shoot out these webs that will pull you into him, which kind of CCs you for a few minutes. Not minutes, but you get what I'm saying. Next on the hit list is Mordesh, a grindy fight that worked out well for us range fighters. My DPS is not great, but this was the first time I was able to see my DPS in relation to others, so I obviously needed to work on my rotation. It's just not where I want it to be yet. Not far from Mordesh, you encounter Mushlum, who is like this big lump of shit that flails at you with his oversized arms and claws. As you can see, I didn't think to turn off taunt on my pet so that our tank could appropriately pull aggro. We finally destroyed the large lump and received the new task of defeating the Death Speaker. Finally reaching the Sonic the Hedgehog inspired Blackthorn, we are met with his guard of skeletons that he can raise at any time. And as you can tell by how close I am standing to our mage, that this was captured before social distancing was in place. In his dying breath, Blackthorn raises a Meninar, whom we then defeated without much incident. So I'm not sure how other dungeons work in World of Warcraft, but I like that this one specifically, the main quest giver, shows up right here at the end, allows you to turn in all your quests, level up, and carry on with your day. So I'm going to do a quick beer break, and as you can see, I'm still drinking these Voodoo Ranger American Haze, which are just excellent. It's kind of like a IPA that's got kind of a low APV in it. Really good beer. Just like Quillbor, we too have been locked into a desperate fight. Our war to save the serene sense and sanitation of our apartment has been continuous since the birth of the kittens. They have finally outgrown the laundry basket that they were born in. We are humble people. I naturally searched on Amazon for a container for them. I found one that seemed like it would work, right? Well, when it arrived, we noticed that while it would indeed work for the time being, they would soon outgrow it. With the pandemic now in full swing, I would have to brave the stores in search of an enclosure for them. I found this cage at Walmart and snatched it up. With that purchase, the next issue was the mama's stress-related accidents that she kept having. We just kept cleaning it up, as throwing her and the kittens out just didn't seem right. Thankful for telework, I took a break from all the hard work I was accomplishing and braved the other WoW, the World of Walmart. So I bought a carpet cleaner and I bought a rug to kind of cover the area where they kind of congregate and mostly occupy. And only Tom's going to tell if that helps save my carpet. The coronavirus has crossed the 1 million people infected mark. Arguments rage on social media about whether it's natural or man-made, if it's real or not, if we should be scared or not. These big events like this always bring out the worst and the best of people. For sure, it shows just how connected the entire world is and proves we are all part of the same big ecosystem. People have been mostly taking the social distancing seriously. We just hope it's not too late. My work stated we must have a mask if we work closer than 6 feet to each other. They don't have any masks to give us, which is ridiculous, right? So we have been getting creative with what we do have. The stores have mostly recovered and are well stocked. Our local schools will remain closed till at least May. Gas is as cheap as it's been this entire century. And it's a wild time and no one knows what's next or for how long this situation will be around. I've been thankful for the distraction that Warcraft has given me this last month. I'm really enjoying my time with the game. It's fitting that the next dungeon on my random search was Scarlet Monastery. Wildhead says it's the stronghold for the Scarlet Crusade. Apparently, these crusaders are a lot like modern humanity. They are trying to stay clean and keep this new virus called the Scourge away from themselves and their loved ones. They believe that all outsiders are potential carriers of this undead plague and must be destroyed. Having one member of my guild at my side must have helped my loot chances because Thanos the Soul Render dropped the Soul Render Great Cloak for me, which is really too bad. Since I have the heirloom gear equipped, there's not much gear I'll be using until I hit level 120. After dying due to uncoordinated teamwork, or whatever the hell happened here, we put down Brother Korloff with a vengeance. The last name on our hit list was High Inquisitor Whitemane, which sounds kind of racist to me. Whitemane? He gave us all we could handle, but thankfully we were able to resurrect so we could try again, eventually allowing us to wear him down and emerging victorious. Sorry, dealing with work drama. Hold on. So the next random dungeon that Retail WoW had in store for me was Shadowfane Keep, which is a horde-based instance that would have required a lot of travel to reach if not for the LFG feature. Wowhead says that during the Third War, the wizards of Kirin Tor battled the Scourge. When the wizards died in battle, they would rise again, becoming wizard zombies. Realizing the absolute reality of facing an undead army, meaning that their ranks constantly swell, the Archmage summoned the alien entities the Worgen to shore up his lines. The Worgen did not care for any of these peoples involved and just killed everyone. This was one of the rather mindless fun dungeons that I played early on. This would be a fun grind if for nothing else the variety of elevation and scenery. Feeling as if I was on a roll, I queued up for another one, right? The experience would be vastly different than Shadowfane Keep. So much so that I won't bore you with any of the lore. It made me realize that without a solid party, any dungeon could be a bad time. And this is not unique to WoW by any stretch of the imagination, but it can sour your opinion on certain aspects of the game as a total noob. Answering the old question, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Yes, apparently the answer is yes, I would. I could tell you that I thought I wouldn't receive fall damage in here, but that is clearly not an intelligent move on my part. Things would only get worse. The party leader didn't have much experience with this dungeon either, and I had no idea how to turn off pet taunts still. He was voted out of the party and the rest left soon after. Funny how things can go south in this game so quick. And of course, I didn't do anything wrong. Alright man, so this next bit is, The gnome disaster was not the only thing that fell apart this week. The much anticipated fight between Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov has fallen apart for a fifth fucking time, proving it to be the most cursed fight in MMA history. Khabib's journey to not appearing on UFC 249 is a symptom of just how unprepared and disorganized the population of Earth was for a worldwide pandemic. Khabib flew from California to Abu Dhabi in anticipation of the rest of the 249 card arriving there. I guess the idea was to hold the event in Abu Dhabi. He was quickly informed that the entire UAE would soon be closing its borders and that he should head to Russia where he lives. When he got to Dagestan, Russia, he was again informed that all international travel to and from Russia would soon be temporarily banned. So stuck in Russia and probably sick of playing these games, he agreed to not take part in 249 via his Instagram posts and stories. Undeterred, Dana White continued with plans for making UFC 249 happen somehow and somewhere with someone. We know the someone or someones now. It's going to be Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. The twist is they will be fighting for yet another interim lightweight championship. So this will be Tony Ferguson's second interim lightweight championship fight, all without ever losing a match. Go watch my last video for a brief rundown on that whole issue. And this really makes no sense to me as it kind of locks in Khabib's next fight. It is what it is, I suppose. There's still nowhere for this fight to happen as of now. This saga just keeps getting stranger and stranger. As frustrated as the fans are over this change, I can only imagine the UFC and the fighters themselves are even more frustrated. Well, except for Gaethje, who definitely deserves this shot, but I just don't like this fight. I'm just concerned that if Tony Ferguson does lose this fight, that he won't get his fight with Khabib, which he has more than earned no matter what happens here. I was super frustrated too, but mostly with my performance in that last dungeon. I sought solace by exploring more of the Eastern Kingdoms. I ended up in a village being overrun by evil pumpkins and an army of the dead. I decided to use an old parenting model on them. By leaving them to figure out this situation on their own, I was instructing them on how to be more independent by defending themselves and not waiting on outside help. Thus, they would need less assistance in the future, leading them to become stronger, better, and more reliable members of the Alliance, which is a win-win, right? Satisfied with what I'm sure will be a successful outcome in wherever the fuck, I celebrated by queuing up for yet another dungeon. This time I ended up in Earthsong Falls. I did attempt to learn some of the lore in this dungeon, but the information was not very clear. I'm not sure if this is part of a series of dungeons or a smaller part of a larger one. Either way, this one went way better than my last outing and left me with a decent appreciation for teamwork and the WoW dungeon settings. So my daughter's school informed us that they're going to be trying these online classes, right? Which I'm sure a lot of places are. But her laptop wouldn't even turn on. So she was going to have to do these online courses on the Mac that I was playing WoW on, recording these videos on. And that's just, ugh. So how would sharing the computer with a teen girl that's new to online classes and an old man that's struggling with a 16-year-old MMORPG go?